wide receiver this year is vastly improved. But what's the pecking order? Who's the top? Who's the bottom of the list? Next, Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. He's Clint. I am Daniel. Today's episode brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel.com. Make every moment more and more on them in a second. If you missed us yesterday, we went through Kirby's presser after the first scrimmage. We had lots of interesting thoughts. There's going to be a lot of new faces on this year's Georgia team. We talked about a lot of players that we're looking forward to, a guy that we think is going to lead the team in sacks this year. We made lots of comments and speculation. Clint tripled down on a take that he has long since had this offseason. So if you didn't catch that, go back and listen. Thanks for being a first listener. Thanks for being an everydayer. And if you listen all the way to the end, a loyal third segment listener, part of the 199, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for making this podcast go. Today, we teased this a couple episodes ago, maybe a week ago, Clint. We teased that we were going to do this because there's no position group on the field for Georgia that will have more new than wide receiver this year. Right.
I mean, you could say offensive line, but it's not new within the program. It's new names that it might be getting PT playing time. But
Micah Morris has been there. He's played before. Ernest Green, been there, played before. Monroe Freeling, been there, played before. So Georgia lost 4 starters on the offensive line. That's the narrative. Yes, they did. Even Drew Bobo, been there, played before, but there's plenty coming back on the offensive line. Now, how good will they be? That time will tell. But you want to talk about just new faces, guys who are going to go from 3 catches on a season to potentially 30 catches on a season. That is wide receiver, or 0 catches for Georgia in their career, to maybe leading the team in receptions for Georgia this season. That's wide receiver. So what we thought we would do as we get into fall camp and we look, Clint and I are going to give you our predictions. Not on, this is not a depth chart projection. No. So I don't want to be mistaken for a depth chart, because at wide receiver, you need specific players with specific body types in specific spots. And so you might be a starter. You might be the number 1 on the depth chart, but that does not mean you're going to be the most productive wide receiver. So what Clint and I are going to do for you is we are going to give you our thoughts on who will be the most productive wide receivers on Georgia's roster. Production meaning overall contributing to Georgia's offensive success, catches, yards, touchdowns, the like. So let's start at the top of the list, Clint. And to me, we mentioned him on the last episode. I think we're gonna go back and forth here a little bit. So we're gonna kind of build one list, but we're gonna do it together. So we may be some disagreement at times. I think the number 1 most productive wide receiver for Georgia this year will be Zachariah Branch. I think we're gonna see him potentially lead this team in catches. I think we're gonna see him potentially lead this team in targets. I think we're gonna see him potentially lead this team in yards. I don't know that he'll lead the team in touchdowns, but I do think with what he's going to do on special teams, which we're not necessarily going to be factoring into this, but I think he's going to be an incredibly valuable piece for Georgia. And I think you can spread him out and mix him up and do some exciting things with him. He is, for my money, on this team, any position, the most exciting player with the ball in his hands on Georgia's roster this year.
It's not close. It's not close. You could say
Nate ahead Frazier, of Nate Frazier,
hands down ahead of Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier is, I think, one of the top 5 running backs in the entire nation. I'll go to the bank on that every single day. I think his talent is there and is incredible. However, just pure hold your breath, because if this guy slips, Here's how coaches try to go ahead and limit offense. If you find a guy that terrifies you, that keeps you up, saying, how are we going to contain him? You can get guys like a Nate Frazier and say, hey, we got to contain him. I understand that. But for the most part, 15 yards, 16, 17-yard runs, you can live with that, quote unquote. You can say, all right, got 16. That's rough. We can't do this all game, but we can limit the damage here. We can keep him to a field goal, kill the drive on the next one. Zachariah Branch is if we miss a tackle at the line of scrimmage on a screen, and he
takes a bad angle,
one linebacker gets rope-a-doped with a foot in the ground. He's caught flat-footed.
Spoiler alert, he will.
This man, he gone.
House.
Like, it's terrifying. You can't stop that one missed tackle. You could try to live with other plays, but man, my goodness, he has to be the most exciting guy at the wide receiver position and also the team. I'm going to go number 2, Daniel.
Where are you going to go next? I think number 2 is much harder of a decision than number 1.
I got 3 names that I can choose as number 2, I think.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah. Well, say it with your chest. Where are you going to go?
I choose him as number 2 only because revenge tour factor comes into play for me. Okay. I think Noah Thomas and Colby Young are very similar. Okay. Very close. However, Colby Young, I've heard, is absolutely dominating people in camp. Now, that's hard to do against a very talented. And secondly, this man's out to prove something. He didn't go away. He didn't shy away. He stood in the paint and he said, come at me. And he said, nothing is wrong. I'm playing football. I'm playing it here at Georgia. I'm not going anywhere. I know the system. I know Gunner. I know Coach Smart. I know Coach Bobo. And I know I can flourish in this system. I don't want to go back to Miami or the likes everywhere else. I'm innocent of everything. I think his catch radius, his ability to get the touchdown in the end zone is similar to Noah Thomas, but man, Colby Young's got something to prove this year, Daniel.
I don't hate this pick at all. We talked about last week. Yesterday. We talked about yesterday the want to factor.
Yes.
Right? Like, and that was one of the more important things that we heard Kirby harp on all off season.
Correct.
How could a person have more want to than Colby Young? Like, all the motivation is there. Like, he's got everything that you could possibly want in a young and talented wide receiver. I will tell you the comp for me after seeing him last year, it's not necessarily the end zone balls that I'm excited about for Colby Young. It's not necessarily the deep shots down the field. To me, people are not going to like, and I'm not necessarily doing this.
Okay.
It's not that I'm comparing Gunnar Stockton to Jake Fromm.
It's not what he's doing, guys. However,
but it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if I compared Gunnar Stockton to Jake Fromm. I know Gunner's more athletic. I know he's got a bigger arm, like whatever. But Javon Wims was the security blanket for Jake Fromm. It's the 10-yard stop route down the sideline on 3rd and 8. That's the route. You throw it outside. You put the ball out of bounds, and he reaches with those long arms, keeps his feet in bounds, and he secures a 9-yard gain on 3rd and 8. How many times did we see Javon Wims do that in 2017?
Daniel, if you took Javon Wims and you sprinkled in a little Lawrence Cager in on that, I think you got Colby Young.
That's what an impact that could be for. Now, will it be that he leads the team or is top 3 in yards this year? I don't know. But when you talk about those 3rd down conversions, those pivotal moments, I don't hate him as the number 2 impact wide receiver on this year's team. We're going to get to the rest of our list, all of the impact wide receivers that we expect to see this year at Georgia. But first, these. And these are, in fact, FanDuel. Clint, FanDuel is our favorite. I mean, we love FanDuel. You know this. We love college football season is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else is right around the corner, Clint? August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for the bold prediction and preseason hunches. If you want to make a future bet, particularly on the NFL, for just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you unbelievable deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP shot, you got a long shot division winner, you're ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, August 26th is the day for you. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Clint, who you got in the MVP race this year, and why is it Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson?
That's it. You nailed it.
It's Todd Monken. You want to take a flyer on Stetson Bennett for MVP? I don't hate it. You want to crown your Super Bowl champion in August? What kind of odds could you get on Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons? I don't know. You would have to check on FanDuel. Or you want to parlay all your division winners into one bet? You can do it on FanDuel. Visit the FanDuel app and start planning your future bets today, because Future Day is one day and one day only on FanDuel. Play your game.
All right, Daniel, the snake has come back to your side. We got already the top 2 impact wide receivers. Again, not depth chart, not even, but just saying impact, because you're right. Third and 8, pivotal game to throw that out route over to Colby Young and have him come down with it, toes touching, is incredible. So
not all 9-yard gains are the same, and you know this. Third, I am going to go Noah Thomas. I do think he is the guy there. We brought him over because of what he was able to do at Texas A&M. Now, Georgia's got, don't listen to preseason magazines, Georgia's got a better passing quarterback than Texas A&M has currently.
Whoa, hold on a second, Daniel.
Reed is a very athletic, very gifted runner. And I think Texas A&M is going to have a good season. And I think Marcel Reed is going to lead probably the number 1 rushing attack in the SEC this year in Texas A&M.
Don't hate that.
He's not a good thrower of the football. He's got a little bit of Jalen Milroe to him, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the fact that you saw what Noah Thomas was able to produce at A&M with a quarterback that can't throw.
Okay.
Now you bring him over to Georgia in an offense that needs big-bodied receivers, needs help in the red zone. We talked about it, third down production, red zone production. Those were areas of the offense last year struggled under Carson Beck. This year we need help, and it's big on the wide receivers. I expect Noah Thomas to be big. He's going to score touchdowns for this Georgia team. That's why we brought him in, to play in the red zone, maybe to stretch the field a little bit. Throw up a little 50-50 ball down the sidelines. You want it. It's just his ability to not only win some 50-50 balls, okay, which imagine this, we take a deep shot down the field and the receiver catches it sometimes.
So they are allowed to do that, Daniel?
Imagine. I'm just asking you to imagine what it might be like if they did.
Wild.
Yeah. But not only are we going to have the ability to bring some of those down at times, you're going to see Mike Bobo send Noah Thomas on a streak, and you're going to have Gunnar Stockton throw it up there a couple times, knowing A, he's going to come down with his fair share of those 50-50 balls, and B, those safeties are going to have to start backing up and respecting it. And now all of a sudden, the underneath game is opening up. Oscar Delp is opening up. Zachariah Branch is opening up. Nate Frazier is opening up. There's plenty of room being created in the defense. No one had to respect the deep ball against Georgia last year. No one.
We watch Notre Dame safeties crawl down into the box 10 yards off the line.
Wreak havoc. So Noah Thomas is going to impact this team in more ways than one. So I got him as third on my list, which brings us to fourth, Clint. You said you had 3 names.
I did.
And we've listed Colby Young and Noah Thomas, which I think should mean you've probably got wide receiver 4 locked and loaded in your mind as who's going to be the 4th most productive wide receiver for Georgia this year.
Now, it's really wild to me because This has changed. My feeling on this player has changed solely based on the head ball coach talking to me about him. That's what's changed, Daniel.
Oh,
Okay?
you just had to chit chat with the guy who knows everything.
Uh-huh.
And so you took his word as more important than your feelings.
That's exactly what I
Why
did.
don't more fans do that, Clint? I wonder.
When he tells you what he likes and doesn't like, it's not a hot take.
Yeah, well, I wish he would play JT Daniels instead of Stetson Bennett. But other than that, yes, I agree.
Do you see what type of fan you are if you do that? Like, it's just, you're asking for JT Daniels when the best college quarterback of all time is played because of Kirby Smart. Okay,
yeah.
I digress. London Humphreys is 4 for me, Daniel.
Yeah. He was almost 3 on this list, to be clear.
Yes, he was almost 2 on this list, Daniel.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you saw the speed. You saw him when we played Vanderbilt 3 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to get through the seams and catch a couple of very, very okay thrown balls, but for touchdowns against us. He has the speed, he has the size, he has the dedication, and the first name out of Kirby's mouth when he talked about the wide receiver room, he did say they lead by committee, but a couple of guys that are ahead of that and leading and performing well. First name was London. And that took me back, Daniel. That shocked me.
Go back and rewatch the Tennessee game from last year. And listen, it's going to there's a reason why there's a name that we haven't said yet on this list. Because in that Tennessee game, Dylan Bell goes down he gets banged up. And of course, we still got Arian Smith and Dom Lovett out there. God help them. But because Dylan Bell goes down,
yes,
London Humphreys slots in. First play that he's in, Carson Beck tries to hit him in the end zone, and Carson is obviously frustrated. Seems like there was some miscommunication. London maybe broke the wrong way. You're guessing at that point, like who messed up. But between a guy playing his first snap and a guy playing his 10th game at starting quarterback, you're probably going to assume that London broke the wrong way.
Correct.
The rest of that game, London Humphreys was nails. He was nails for that Georgia team. Was a big reason why we won that game, why we were able to dominate and score however much, like 20 straight points or whatever to win the game, to close it out. London Humphreys was an upgrade over last year's wide receivers. Now, why could he not get on the field? These are the reasons I would listen to your concerns about Mike Bobo. But you don't make the right concerns. That's your problem.
It's the
you're busy
the boy
talking about play calling.
It is not play calling.
That ain't it.
Guarantee you.
It's personnel decisions. So I like that London Humphreys is going to be in. I think he's a big upgrade. I think he's had a year to learn the system. I think he's going to be more physical in the run game, more physical blocking. And I think he's just a very talented wide receiver. All right, we got 2 more names. We're going to go 5 and 6 on this list, and it's going to get interesting in the third segment, as it always does. But first, these.
And these are, in fact, Wayfair. Summer is winding down, and thank goodness.
Thank God.
There's something nice about getting into a routine that you love. Wayfair makes it easy to set yourself up for the season ahead. Bedding, linens, storage solutions, every room. Wayfair is one-stop shop to refresh your home. Look, I recently grabbed a couple things off Wayfair, a couple rugs, a couple outdoor rugs, because I got that outdoor space just right with the smoker,
he does,
patio, and the TV, because that fall day, crisp and nice as the quesos in the smoker, you got to have that rug. And Wayfair is a place that I went to get all of that.
Sure thing.
Get organized, refresh, and back to routine for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now. Shop all things home. That's wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Daniel,
all right, Clint.
2 more names.
Dos more namos. I am charged with number 5 on this list.
You are.
And I'll just tell you this. I've got 3 names.
Do I get a veto if you say the name that you might say? I reserve the right to veto you.
I've got 3 names, and his isn't even one of the 3.
Great, then we're fine.
It feels intentionally disrespectful, but it's not.
It's not, guys.
It's just
not.
that I fundamentally believe. So for 5 and 6, can we talk them through and do them together?
That's a great idea.
You tell me if you are considering any other names other than these 3 for 5 and 6. Okay? The 3 names that I am considering in no particular order are Sokovie White, Cole Speer, and Talon Taylor. Those are the 3 names that I am considering for 5 and 6. Do you have other names you'd like to throw into the ring before we begin our conversation?
I think if you're considering Talon, then you also have to consider CJ. I think it's part and parcel. I think those 2, not saying that they guarantee to be in there, but at least part of the conversation.
Okay. We'll throw CJ Wiley in the mix.
Great. Sounds good.
We are both on board that Dylan Bell is not one of the 6 best wide receivers on this team.
And again, that is not us saying we don't like him. He's going to have a role.
Or that he doesn't have a role on this team.
He's going to have a role.
Or that he's not going to play. He is going to play.
He's talented. He brings a couple of things that other guys in this wide receiver room can't.
No, physicality with the ball in his hands, for example.
Because he's more of a running back than he is wide receiver. Okay.
He literally is a running back. So
he's
more of a running back like McCray is more of a running back.
It's the coaches who put him at running back. Okay, great. So it is no disrespect, but Daniel, let me make the case for who I think should be listed within 5 or 6. And I don't, and this again comes out of reports and it comes out of what he brings. But Sokovie White, Daniel, is fast, twitchy, flies more, not Zachariah Branch, but closer to him than anybody else. Undersized, you can say, which I don't know what that means in football, because as long as you can play football, you're not undersized. Like it's like saying a mobile quarterback. You must have mobility as a quarterback today. There's no such thing as a dual threat quarterback. If you can't run, you don't play in this era of football. Okay. That's what I want to tell you. Sokovie White, though, Daniel, seems to be that the little June bug, the little quick hitter, the short space satellite twitchiness, side to side, make a guy miss, is something that we need in this offense and something that Kirby Smart and company appreciate so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would definitely say that about Sokovie White. Now, the thing that Sokovie has over a guy like Cole Speer is a pedigree.
Yep.
Right? He comes in as a much more highly touted prospect than Speer. He was a more productive wide receiver in high school than Speer. Okay. Now, you can read something into these things or not. Sokovie White last year, in the worst wide receiver room in program history, appeared in 3 games. Cole Speer appeared in every game that Georgia played last year. And so it does feel like there is something sneaky that this coaching staff really likes about Cole Speer. They are both undersized, quicker than they are fast type of use them in a creative way and be versatile with them. And so it's our podcast, Clint. We can do what we want to do.
We say and do what we want.
Number 5 on our list is going to be Sokovie White / Cole Speer.
Let's do it.
And number 6 on our list then is going to be Talon Taylor / CJ Wiley.
This is how we
because roll. I think only one of each of these 2 guys is really going to be productive. But I kind of, and this might be a hot take, I kind of am sure that one of each of those two sets, one of the guys will be a productive member of Georgia's 2025 wide receiving class. I think it will only be either Sokovie White or Cole Speer. And I think it will only be either CJ Wiley or Talon Taylor. But I think one of each of them will be productive. So you think it's most likely going to be Sokovie White? I actually think it's most likely going to be Cole Speer, but I think they're going to be used in a similar way. I will tell you that I think it's most likely going to be Talon Taylor in the other group because, again, I think he brings something hands-wise, ball skill-wise, true polished wide receiver wise.
Yes.
That nobody, and I mean nobody on this Georgia roster has. I think he is immediately the most talented wide receiver on Georgia's roster. And I'm including Zachariah Branch on that, in that list.
This is going to sound ridiculous. So you look at CJ, bigger body.
Yeah.
Maybe top end speed once they really get going. Maybe CJ has even the top there. I don't know exactly. I haven't seen him on the field side by side doing it. But I will say this. Look, I'm about to evoke a name that many of you may not have seen play. But
here we go.
It's the type of name that you look at and you're like, how was that guy the best NFL player of all time? You look at Jerry Rice and you go, how was he the best player of all time? It's because he knew football. He had incredible IQ, work ethic. The guy was fast, had great hands. Hands that snatched everything. He had crisp routes. He had anticipation. He was 6 foot, 185, 190, something like that. I mean, that's Talon Taylor. Talon Taylor, again, I'm not talking about greatest of all time. I am saying that he fits within a skill set where I put him all over the field and the guy's just a receiver. I don't care where he lines up. He has the whole route tree to him. He has the top end speed. He has the quickness. He has the hands. He has the catch radius and anticipation. I've watched film on him. It's like he knows where the ball is in flight without looking. And that doesn't make sense. I get it. It doesn't make sense.
A good wide receiver.
He is
running good routes.
He knows where that ball is going to be. And the second he makes rapport with Gunner or with Montgomery or with Puglisi or whoever, he can do it with anybody. He's going to be exceptional. And I don't blink twice when you say he's the most talented guy on this roster right now. You have no fight from me, Daniel.
So let's just talk briefly about what we expect from a statistical standpoint from the wide receivers.
Okay.
Right. So when you look at last year's crop of receivers, Dominic Lovett, 59 catches, Arian Smith, 48 catches, Dylan Bell, 43 catches. And then you got Etienne and Lawson Lucky and Cash Jones and Oscar Delp and Ben Urosic were all next. After those three wide receivers, you had 5 non-wide receivers. Colby Young, 11 catches in his limited time. So when you get to the 4th, 5th, 6th wide receiver on the team, it's Anthony Evans, and he had 9 catches. Over under 10 catches for Talon Taylor in 2025.
Over. Daniel, over. I made the prediction that I think Gunnar Stockton might only throw 12 to 15 passes a game, which I was kind of saying that a little tongue in cheek, but I think they're going to be shots is what I was trying to get at. The average is going to be up there.
Right. But if he only throws 12 to 15 passes a game, Talon Taylor's not catching 10 balls on the year.
He is not.
No,
he is not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 1/10 of the passes.
To be clear, Carson Beck last year attempted 448 passes.
By the way, that's coming down this year.
It's coming down this year, but that's
350 pass attempts, something like that, 360, something like that. Look, Talontaire is going to have more than that, Daniel. The ball is going to be dispersed very nicely in this offense.
I think it might be, but I also think it might be top heavy again. Like, I think you're going to see some of these top guys kind of dominate the wide receiver room. And then you're going to have your Oscar Delps are going to demand some of those catches. Cash Jones is still going to catch the ball. I think Nate Frazier is going to be utilized in the passing game. I think you will definitely see other guys catch the ball, but I do think you're going to have more wide receivers near the top of the receptions list this year as opposed to last year, just because I think there's a depth of talent there. He is Clint. I'm Daniel. We will be covering this Georgia football team all the way up to and through the 2025 season. We'll be back tomorrow with more coverage, and we will talk to you guys then.
See ya.